Hello and welcome back to the channel. Hope everybody is well. So today I'm going to be doing a little bit more work on Mrs. Wynne, and let's give you a little bit of an update. So first of all, Gary, the barn find ambassador, I've tidied out a boot and found a load of stuff that I didn't know I had. I'm still yet to get round to cleaning off the back seat and getting rid of all the junk that's in there. Basically just going to throw away stuff I don't need. There is stuff for the Jag that's in there as well. The Jag is somewhere over there at the back of the van somewhere, but the Jag's running well. Yeah, whatever. And I'm still yet to fit the door, just haven't got round to it. But it's fine, I can do that whenever. So the barn find ambassador, the Gary, her suspension has stayed up. I'm really surprised. So it's been pumped up now for a few weeks and it hasn't gone down at all. So the only thing I can think of there, that it was just a sticky valve that had been dripping out over time, but so far it's held up well. Yep, she needs another wash. The whole fleet needs a wash, if I'm honest. Even Mrs. Wynne's looking a bit dusty again, because I have been on holiday for a week. So, anyway, moving on. Yeah, don't worry. Gary will be sorted soon, next yearish. The Mighty White. As we went on holiday last week with the wobble box, and as you know, she does have a tow bar. So, we went away on the Saturday morning and there was a local car show on the Sunday. So the Mighty White did the job of pulling the wobble box. Our caravan's normally loaded up to the hilt, so she, the Mighty White did a fantastic job. Didn't go very far, so no. For that particular journey, I didn't bother with any towing mirrors or anything like that, simply because it was all high roads and whatever's behind me can wait, basically. But it's only, what, crikey, 15-mile journey with a wobble box on to the site we were staying. So, me personally, I know it breaks all the rules, but there again, rules are there to be broken. Right, moving on to the Mighty Proceed. Right, my wife can't actually use it at the moment, simply because when we bought the car, the guy had got the original logbook when it was on its original plates, which those are not. Those are the private plates. Now, they'd lost, during the house move, they'd lost the logbook with that number plate on. So when we bought the car, he says he'll leave the tax on so we can insure it, we can use it, blah de blah de blah. All well and good. However, the logbook is now in our name and it's all been done online, and because it's the bank holiday, I don't have any way and means of taxing it at the moment. So I've got to phone up DVLA on Tuesday when I go back to work and see if we can do anything over the phone. If not, going to have to wait for the logbook. So the wife is going to be using the Jag. So at least for a time, the Jag is going to get used. And maybe it'll get a wash at some point. The wobble box I'll come on to later. So far with the Seed, we have noticed there is a little bit of a knock on the front, and I've changed a few suspension parts like lower wishbones, that kind of thing, drop links. Still can't cure this knock. So I finally found the problem, and it is the Kia steering rack knock, and it's basically a bush on the near side of the rack. It's just a plastic bush and it wears out. Fair enough, but I've got to get the steering rack out to do it. So that's going to be a heck of a job, but I need to get it done before the MOT next year, obviously, because they'll pick it up anyway as an advisory, and really, because the car is so good, we want to try and keep it so there's no advisories or anything like that. So she's still got to go on number plates, which I'll do later on, and I've got to sort out the steering rack, and I'll do a review on this car as well later on in a few weeks time. Yeah, I really like this car. As soon as I saw it for the wife, because the other one got wrote off, as you know, I saw this one and thought, I like that. I really do like that. It's a good looking car. It's got the larger alloys, the wider tyres. It's very sporty, very nippy, and it drives like an absolute dream. And with, like our last Kia Ceed, the 5-door 1.6 diesel that we had, it gave us no trouble whatsoever, and you know, it had done 160,000 miles before it was written off. 160,000 miles before it was wrote off. So, you know, I can't speak highly enough about these cars. I think they are motoring's best kept secret. They are fantastic. Anyway, rolling on to Mrs. Wynne. So as you can see, she's up on ramps, and I'll show you that in a bit. What I did yesterday, we come back off on holiday on Saturday, and I got yesterday to piddle around. So I've put the rear trim back on. I'm not sure if you'd noticed in maybe the last video or the video before that trim was missing. Basically it fell off. Hey, who knew? So I've refitted all the trims, and what I've done as well, I've changed the black. Although it should be brown vinyl, I've done away with that way back when, a couple of years ago, when I started doing the restoration. And I went for the satin black on the C-pillars and across the boot. I wasn't liking how that was looking. I've got to be honest, I just thought, no, doesn't look right. So I've gone for matte black. But it still has got a little bit of a sheen to it, but it's only very slight. And also you'll see she now wears her crown again, because one fell off and the enamel broke, so it didn't look good, so I had to source another one, and I've obviously got the one on the other side to fit later on today. So yeah, so that's all just been prepared to be fitted back on. So I've now changed the C-pillars to matte black and refitted the trims, and I like the way it's sitting, and I do like the look at that. I've still got to spray this little bit here with the matte black because it's faded, same as it does on the Ambassadors. Same thing happens to those, it fades. It's okay, not a problem. So where are we at with Mrs. Wynne? We're not too far away out of schedule as to actually getting her back on the road. I still can't find my bloody mirrors, which is annoying. And I don't really want to buy a set until I've cleaned out this and also my shed, because I've got a feeling I'm going to buy another set, I'm going to fit them, and then I'm going to find them, because that's what normally happens, doesn't it? So anyway, we've got some rusty issues going on. I think I pointed it out on one of the other videos. This is a previous repair. Obviously it's showing signs now, so I want to get that sorted out, and there's a lot of flakiness going on here, and also there are a few holes, and there's a bit missing there. I didn't realise that this bit is actually double skinned and hollow, so I want to try and find a way of getting some wax oil in there once it's been repaired as well. So I'm going to be pulling the front bumper off and get the indicators out. Looks like that's broke actually. Oh yeah, so it is. Who knew? Oh, it's never ending. So anyway, yeah, all this I want to sort all this front end out in this video and get her tidied up a little bit, and hopefully MOT ready. Not that she needs one. So let's get cracking. It's a case of pulling everything off the front and getting that under seal off there and finding out how much metal is left. I've got a feeling I've got a hell of a task coming up. Oh well, let's crack on. Wow, I've not seen that much princess swept up since that car crash in Paris. Right, so we've got a little bit of surface rust and some bigger holes and some more holes. Other than that, it's not too bad. Some holes going on along here as well. And other than that, other than some flaky paint, a little bit of a hole going on there, and a bit more going on up here. So I think as well, we'll pull the front grille off and see if we can get these indicators off without breaking the screws. That's probably going to be fun, but we'll see what happens. And let's get this front end off and see what we got. But other than that, other than a couple of little holes underneath there, nothing too drastic. I don't know what's going on with that. I haven't got a clue. So we'll get the linisher on that and we'll get that off and find out what we got underneath. I've got a feeling, looking at how lumpy it is, I bet it's going to be filler. Yeah. But yeah, she'll look alright once she's tidied up. She'll be fine. And yeah. Alright, let's continue. So we've got most of the front end out the way. Headlamp, surrounds, grille, indicators, all that's out the way, disconnected. The indicators come off really easy. But they're only held in with self-tapping screws, the same as the headlamp fixtures. But I'm having a little bit of trouble getting the screws out because they are all rusted in, and given that the car's well over what 45 years old, kind of understandable. They've probably never been out. So yeah, there's a couple of the screws are stuck on this side, and there's a couple of the screws stuck on this side also. So I'm not going to mess around. I'm just going to get the grinder to them and just chop them off, and then I can worry about getting the screws out the holes later on, because I don't want to be held up fiddling about trying to drill screws out, and you know, it's just going to make the job a lot harder and more time consuming. And while I've got these headlamps out, I can have a look at the adjusters, because I'm pretty sure that they all just wobble around. And yeah, that one's not sitting very nicely anyway. So yeah, so let's get the grinder out, let's get these headlamps out of the way, and then we can get cracking. And getting cracking we are doing. So I managed to cut a little groove into the screws that was holding in the headlamps. I don't know if you can see that, just with the angle grinder there with a slitting disc on it. So I didn't need to damage any of the screws or anything like that, but obviously they won't be going back in because I'll be putting all new screws on, and preferably something like tech screws so that you've got a 10mm hex head on the end of them, rather than fiddly little posi drive for later on. Who knows? But anyway, there'll be new screws going in anyway. So this job is turning out to be long-winded, which is fine. I'm cool with that. So as you can see, the headlamps are out. You'll see I've got the expansion bottle out as well, and the radiator, because it was turning into one of them jobs. Well, this needs doing, that needs doing, and the more I look, the more I find. So I did notice a couple of weeks ago when I'd got Mrs. Wynne actually running, there was a little bit of drip on the radiator there. So hell, it needs doing, it needs looking at. I've noticed there is a previous repair on there as well, where it's been soldered up once before. There, if you can see that, a nice big blob of solder there. So I've got a feeling it was leaking from there. So I think I'm going to actually take that to work, give it the guy that deals with all our parts and say, get me radiator sorted for me, will you? Obviously I won't leave him the fan, I'll take that off. So we'll have the radiator looking all nice and probably recoiled as well, looking at the state of it. It doesn't look too bad, but I think it's a job worth doing while I've got it all out. Also, on most BL cars, if you've got an Allegro, Princess, Ambassador, they've got this wonderful stupid pipe that goes up into the back of the engine there. Good idea, I suppose, but it's in a really exposed area, and as you can probably see, I can put my hand through there, it's all looking a bit crusty. So I think while I've got all this off and I'll be redoing all this front end, I might as well do inside there as well. You know, sometimes these jobs that once you do start them, what you think is going to be a quick fix normally ends up being, well, this needs doing, that needs doing, and then it just spirals out of control. But obviously there's no rush. I can take my time, you know. The weather's still good, the weather's still on our side, so while it is, I might as well do it. And if it has to be halted for any reason, you know, due to weather, it's fine. You know, the plan was to have her on the road this year, and if it has to wait, it has to wait. It's as simple as that. But while we've got the good weather, we're going to keep fighting on, and we're going to do as much as we can. So yeah, there is a lot of tidying up that needs doing, and I think while I've got the front end out, let's just crack on, get on with it. Okay, I've unclipped all the wiring harness, especially from the left hand side, taking it all back from along under there, and I've tidied it, put it out the way, up there out the way. Got the hose pipe in here and give it all a little bit of a clean up, so it gets rid of all the old leaves and the old flaky bits of rust and all the old, what was kind of wax oil, I suppose. It's done its job, more or less. Especially under the bonnets, it all seems to be okay, which I'm quite pleased about. Yeah, I'll fetch the rest of that off when I get underneath the car, and then I'll give all under here a nice coat of wax once we've done the work under the front. So now that all the cobwebs are out the way, I can actually see what I'm doing. So I'm not going to fart around with it too much. I mean, these repairs here, that is a repair badly done. This is a repair badly done, and obviously this bit at the front here, I have got no idea. I think that's a bad repair. Feeling along the edge here as well, I think there's another repair there that's been badly done. And obviously underneath there we've got some holy bits to attend to, so I'm not going to worry at the moment. Let's just get the grinder out now and make a start and see what we find. So what you're looking at here is the underside of the Titanic. Obviously that's where the iceberg struck, and it moved along and then punched little holes all in the thing. Old. And then when it beached at the bottom, you see nose dived and all here got holed as well. It's a very holy car. Oh Jesus, that's appropriate. Right, so yeah, okay, it's just metal, so basically we'll cut it out from around about here and along here, and probably down there we'll cut out this part, this section. So I'll have to get some body steel, and I don't think what I've got is wide enough, so I'll have to get a nice big piece of steel and make a start cutting that out. Then obviously this lower lip will obviously need to be cut out, and rebuilt as well. There are some little signs of it starting to go there. How far do I go? Do I treat it, fill it, or do I do it properly and cut it out? I think if I've got to cut out this section anyway, I might as well carry on and cut out that section as well. If repair panels are available, yeah, I will be trying to source them, but if they're not, I'll have to make them. So that's the underside, so I'm now just starting to go across the front, so we'll have a look there. So across the front we have got a split in the panel there, so that can be welded and repaired, so I don't need to worry about too much there. This here again is just surface rust, so it'll be a case of linish that out and clean it up. We're not looking too bad on the underside of here. More than anything, it's just flaky voice is going, flaky paint. Yeah, right, this here is a previous repair. It may have been welded, it may not have been, I don't know. Yeah, I'll see what I can do with that. I don't know. Again, up there is a previous repair. I don't know how much filler is in that, so it'll have to all come off. See what's behind it, and then I can take it from there. All this top end is basically okay. It just wants cleaning up, get all the flaky paint off and a new coat of paint on there. Although on the top of the slam panel, bizarrely, we've got a couple of little holes there. So again, just cut out a short small piece of metal there, and it looks like it's starting to go there as well, so I'll do the same. Linish that back. If it's solid, it's solid. I mean, that's just basically where Leyland welded it, because the other side is exactly the same, look. So yeah, just cut that little bit out, put a proper corner on there. I might actually put more of a larger piece of metal in there and radius it off properly, so it may add a little bit more strength should it need it, but maybe it'll look a bit tidier. So yeah, we got a little bit of a hole there. Other than that, the top of the panel's okay, so I don't need to go too much into that. Where the headlights fix, they all seem okay, and inside the wings there, just want dressing up, maybe get the flaky paint off and just give it a new coat of paint inside there. So inside here, where the indicators go, is the underside of this panel here, and I don't know if you can see inside there. It looks okay, other than this little bit of metal, which is basically a cover. It's not structural, because the structural bit is behind it, which is basically this part here. That underneath is nothing more than a cover. It doesn't serve any purpose, but that's what it is. So we'll carry on grinding up here and see what we find. So all in all, not too bad. Obviously there's a couple of previous repairs there. Now I'm not sure what I'm going to do with them, whether to leave them alone or to actually cut them all out and start again with it and remake that panel there. It's an odd shape. It's very pointy. It's very pointy, and it's also slightly curved as well, so it's gonna, if I do remake the panel, it's gonna have to be in stages, or I mean, obviously that's got to be cut out there because it's old. There's no point actually trying to fill that because it just won't last 5 minutes. Luckily these repairs have had metal put in place, albeit not very well, but it's got metal there and it is welded. It is slightly misshaped, but I'm actually tempted to leave that top bit alone and just tidy it up. I don't know. It's going to be one of them when I get some metal and get the welder out. It depends then how far I actually go in terms of repairing that. Obviously that's got to be cut out, and obviously down here has got to be cut out. So I just wanted to see what was up top on here. The rest of it, other than a repair up here, which is going to need a little strip of metal there, those on the top, the rest of it is actually okay. It's just untidy, so it'll just be a case of getting in there with the wire wheel and getting all the old flaky paint off, and as per usual, a good proper coat of paint. Some stone chip obviously along this front. Yeah. All good fun. Not what I expected, but you know, if I want Mrs. Wynne back on the road and properly, jobs like this do need to be done. There's no shying away from it. So yeah, so I think I'm going to wrap it up for this video. For the time being, I'm going to leave Mrs. Wynne in that state. So within the next week, before the next video, obviously I'm going to get some metal, and then we'll pick it up then when we start cutting the front end off and replacing some of the rusty bits. So apart from that, it's all been quite good fun. Again, not what I expected to do. I thought it would just be a quick linish off with the grinder and play around with a bit of metal, but I think I need much more metal than I have actually got. So and anyway, the day's dragging on now and I want to chill out for a bit before I go back to work tomorrow. So so yeah, we're going to wrap it up now, and we'll pick it all back up in the next video. In the meantime as well, I'm going to clean some of those bits up. I don't really need to record it. It's just a case of a bit of sandpaper, bit of paint. That's about it really. Now I have got a nice set of trapezoidal headlights that I was given. It's like, scrapping the car, do you want these headlights? Yeah, I'll have them. Shall I put them in, Mrs. Wynne? Or shall I keep the twins? So I'm going to leave this one up to you guys. Answers down below, and don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. So that's all from me for now. Take care of yourselves and each other. See you later. Bye bye.